Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutare Srimati Radhana Swami Namne. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutare Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisheshwanyamadi Paschatadeshatharane. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutare Srimati Radhana Swami Namne. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutare Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisheshwanyamadi Paschatadeshatharane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gaura Bhakta Valla Pija
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Samyukta Mataji, Sandhya Mataji, Sapan Prabhu, Danavad Pranam.
Hare
And
Krishna Prabhuji.
yeah, we'll start. Devotees will join eventually. Okay. Let us begin with Mangala Charana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरम्। ओम अपवित्र पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यस्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षं साभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचिः। श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमो से पंकजांग्रहे। श्लोक Prabhupada ki Shloka Gurudev ki Jai. So we will read Subhadini book of first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, entitled as Creation, 15th chapter, entitled as The Pandavas retire timely. The Pandavas retire timely. So let us start reading. Okay, yeah. So these are the sections. Total 51 verses there. I'll quickly go through this section, then we'll over to 1.15. The Pandavas retire timely. 1 to 6. Arjuna's strong feeling of separation from Krishna. Those verses. 1 to yeah. Okay. 1 to 6. Arjuna's strong feeling of separation from Krishna. 1 to 4 verses talks about various bodily symptoms due to separation. 5 to 6 talks about Krishna left me. Loss of astounding powers. Separation for a moment renders universes void. 7 to 17 verses. Arjuna recalls Lord Krishna's favor and protection. By his mercy, I won Draupadi, conquered Indra, killed Nivata Kavachas. Nivata Kavachas. 18 to 23 talks about remembering intimate moments. Arjuna felt void in Krishna's absence. 18 to 19, joking and frank talks, Krishna's tolerance. 2021 feels void in separation, defeated by cowherds, all powers nullified in a moment. 20 to 23 verse talks about annihilation of Yadus due to Brahmana's curse through mutual killing. 24 to 31 talks about Arjuna focuses on Lord's instruction and attains transcendence. So 24 to 27 in that section, Arjuna accepts everything is Lord's will and remembered Bhagavad Gita, relief from miseries. 28-29 talks about mind pacified, remembered Krishna, bhakti intensified. 30 to 31, no more entanglement in birth and death. 32 to 44, Yudhishthira retires. 30 to 33, Kunti liberated. That verses explaining. 34 to 37, Krishna's disappearance and Kali's entrance. Yudhishthira prepares to leave. 38 to 39, Yudhishthira enthrones Parikshit and Vajra. 40 to 44, Yudhishthira retires, not depending on brothers, travels to north. 45 to 51, other Pandavas, Draupadi and Vidura depart. 45 to 48, other Pandavas followed, attained Lord's abode. 49, Vidura back to Pitraloka. 50, Draupadi, Subhadra attained same result as their husbands. 51, Falasruti. Hearing this pastime leads to Hari Bhakti. 51 is the Falasruti. When we hear, hearing this pastime leads to Hari Bhakti. Yes. Right. So let us read these sections. Diva Madhuri, please.
Arjuna's strong feelings of separation. Hearing Yudhishthira's speculative inquiries, Arjuna became grief-stricken. In strong feelings of separation from Krishna, Krishna Vishlesha Karshita. Due to grief, Arjuna's mouth and heart dried up, and he lost his luster. Remembering the Lord, he could hardly reply. He checked his tears of grief with great difficulty. He was extremely pained by increasing longing for Krishna, who was now out of sight. remembering Krishna's Sakhyam, friendship, Maitrim, Sakhya mixed with Dasya, and Sauhridam, Sakhya with Vatsalya. Arjuna, overwhelmed, began to speak as follows: Loss of powers. The Lord, my intimate friend, has left me. Thus, my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. Vanchitoham Maharaja, Harina Bandhurupina, yena me pahritam tejo, deva vismapanam mahat. No one can be independently powerful in any measure without being endowed by the Lord. No one should be puffed up for his powers borrowed from the Lord, but rather feel obliged to the Lord and must utilize such powers for his service. Unbearable separation. I lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all the universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. Yasya kshana viyogena loko hya priya darshana uthena rahito hyesha britaka prochyate yatha.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Fourth one is something interesting. Remembering Krishna's Sakyam, friendship, Maitrim, Sakya mixed with Dasya, and Sahrudam, Sakya with Vatsalya. Arjuna, overwhelmed, began to speak as follows. So these are the things. No one can be independently powerful in any measure without being endowed by the Lord. We are always dependent on his energies. No one should be puffed up for his powers borrowed from the Lord, but rather feel obliged to the Lord and must utilize such power for his service. Unbearable separation. I lost him. So this section talks about Arjuna's strong feelings of separation. Whose separation for a moment would render all universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. We have seen.
This is important sloka in this whole chapter, Guruji. Yes, section of yoga.
Yasyakshana viyogena loko hi apriya darshana uktena rahito hyesha mrutaka prochyate yata. So actually, you can add, Prabhu, but I am remembering one verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sikshastakam verse. Yuga idam nimeshena chakshusham pravrushahitam. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also experiencing that. That is an instruction actually. Separation from one moment is just like 12 years. So unbearable separation. Yeah, you can add, Prabhu, if you want anything.
Nothing to add, Prabhu. You know that what you say. Anything without that one, the zeros are zeros only. So
Right.
that one is uttered by Krishna.
Yeah.
If he is not there, why are we staying here? This is what actually Arjuna wants to convey to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And Yudhishthira Maharaj understood it, and he also got completely vexed up and they left.
Yeah.
Till then, they were completely organizing the whole world, Prabhuji. And at the same time, no, within 1 minute, everything gone. Everything. They left everything.
Yeah, that's where separation, and they wanted to unbearable. They cannot live any moment, because Kali is the qualities of Kali was starting. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. That's where in our life also, if we add Krishna, then there is a value. We are zeros. Mostly we see materialist zeros. Materialistic way of life. If we add Krishna in our life, then our life become valuable, and there is something worthy in our life. Just like one adding before zero. Yes, Prabhu, thank you. Yeah, Samyukta Madhavi, please continue from this section. Arjuna recalls.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. 7 to 17. Arjuna recalls Lord Krishna's favors and intimate protection. Only by Lord Krishna's mercy, I won Draupadi's hand, vanquishing the lusty princess and piercing the fish target. I defeated Indra and the demigods, offered the Khandava forest to Agni, and had the wonderful assembly hall built by Maya Danava. Bhima defeated Jarasandha and released the kings who had been captured for his Mahabhairava Yagna. Offenders of Draupadi were killed and their wives had to loosen their hair as widows. We were saved from Durvasa's anger during our exile. When the Lord ate a few remnants, everyone felt sumptuously fed.
Yes, these are all different calamities. Krishna always helps Pandavas, especially Arjuna is recalling all this. Your protection always there, and you are favorable to us always. So you go ahead, Mata.
I astonished Shiva, Parvati, and the demigods with my fighting. Thus I received their weapons, and in my present body was able to reach the heavenly planets and share Indra's throne. I killed the Nivata Kavacha demons, but now I am bereft of the Supreme Person by whose influence I was so powerful. I regained King Virata's cows, crossing over the ocean of the Kaurava army. The duration of life of the Kaurava army was withdrawn. The invincible weapons of great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhurishrava, Shalya, Jayadratha, and Bahlika could not even touch a hair on my head. My enemies neglected to kill me when I descended from my chariot to get water for my thirsty horses. Foolishly, I dared engage the Lord as my charioteer, who is worshipped and served by the best of men for salvation. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
All these 17 slokas, one pastime, one, where Arjuna is remembering Krishna's protection, intimate protection. So this one, anybody, Prabhu, what is this, Prabhu? Nivata Kavacha, what is it? I couldn't recall. What is that actually? Nivata Kavacha, demons. What are,
I didn't remember right now. I'm sorry. Nivata Kavacha, when did Arjuna defeated Kavacha demons? Nivata Kavacha.
It's okay. We'll come back.
Yeah, I will just get that. You will get it or somewhere else. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I couldn't remember.
No problem. So, yeah. Let us continue. Yeah. Sandhya Mataji, please read this section.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 18 to 23. Remembering intimate moments, Arjuna feels void. I remember his frank talks, smiles, and hearty addresses. I am overwhelmed. He tolerated my offenses and intimate dealings like a father or a friend. I was defeated. In his absence, my heart became void, hridayena shunyaha, and I was defeated by infidable coward men while I was guarding his queens. Krishna's absence. I am the same Arjuna with the same Gandiva bow, arrows, chariot, and horses. But all these have become null in a moment of his absence, like offering ghee into ashes, obtaining money by magic, and killing a man. Tadvai dhanusta ishwa sarato hayaste, soham rati rupatayo yata anamanti, sarvam kshanena tadabhut budasad isha riktam. Bhasman hutam kuhakaratam ivoptam ushyam. 22 to 23. The Yadus were cursed by Brahmanas, became intoxicated, fought with sticks, and killed each other. Now all but 4 or 5 of them are dead and gone. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Mata, yeah. This verse only, Krishna's absence. I'm the same Arjuna with the same Gandiva bow, arrows, chariot, and horses. But all those have become null in a moment of his absence, Krishna's absence, like offering ghee into ashes, obtaining money by magic, or sowing seeds on barren land. So actually remembering intimate moments of Arjuna is remembering intimate moments with Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita also we see, that Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Saketi. I have called you and I have very closely associated with you, but now you are a Supreme Lord. So he is feeling that kind of intimate moments, and now here he is experiencing the void, like in absence of Krishna. Yeah. 24 to 31. Lavanya, want to read?
Yeah, 24 to 31. Arjuna focuses on the Lord's instructions and attains transcendence. 24 to 27. Arjuna accepts everything as the Lord's will. 24. Supreme will. As this is due to the supreme will of the Lord, Ishwarasya Visheshitam, people sometimes kill and sometimes protect one another. 25 to 26. Removing the burden. As the big aquatics swallowed the small aquatics, the Lord engaged the stronger Yadus to kill the weaker. This was because the Yadus had become the burden on the earth. Bhubaran. Among the Yadus were the Lord's eternal associates and some demigods. Both were not burden for the earth, but were for ornaments. A woman does not feel the burden of her ornaments. So the destruction of the Yadus was a means for returning the demigods and Lord eternal associate to their respective destination. More details in 11th.
Go ahead.
More details in 11th canto, first 30 and 31 verses. 27.
11 chapter maybe. Okay.
Relieving the heart. I am now attracted to Lord Govinda's instruction that relieve the the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. 28 to 31. Arjuna situated in transcendence. 28. Arjuna contemplated deeply on Lord Krishna's lotus feet and his instructions with great intimacy and friendship. Sauhardena ti gadena. Thus, his mind became pacified and free from unsteadiness. Shantasit Vimalamati. 29. Bhakti. Arjuna's remembrance of Vasudeva's lotus feet intensified his bhakti, and thus the contamination of his thoughts subsided. 30th. Teachings. Arjuna remembered Krishna's instructions on the battlefield, Bhagavad Gita, which he forgot neither through time nor actions nor the darkness of separation. 31. Due to his spiritual assets, Krishna's friendship, Arjuna destroyed his lamentation, Vishoka Brahma Sampatya, and vanquished all doubt. Sanchinna Dvaita Samshaya. He became free from the modes situated in transcendence, devoid of material form, alingatvat, and was no longer entangled in birth and death, asambhava. Yeah.
So Arjuna is focusing on the Lord's instruction, attains transcendence. Arjuna accepts everything as the Lord's will. So all these verses from 24 to 27 talks about supreme will. What is that supreme will? All this is due to the supreme will of the Lord. Everything taken place, supreme will of the Lord. Ishvarasya vichesitam. Vichestitam. People sometimes kill, sometimes protect one another. So that the Yadu's story, Yadu, removing the burden. Bhubaram, that we say, right? Bhubaram. So relieving the heart. I am now attracted to Lord Govinda's instruction that relieve the burning heart in all circumstances of time and space. That means is attracted to Lord Govinda's instructions when he received on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Bhagavad Gita teachings. He is remembering those. Arjuna contemplated deeply on Lord Krishna's lotus feet and in his instructions with great intimacy and friendship. Sauhadrenadi Gadhena. Thus his mind became pacified and free from unsteadiness. Fixed his mind and senses to serve the Lord. Bhakti, 29 talks about bhakti. Arjuna's remembrance of Vasudeva's lotus feet intensified his bhakti, and thus the contamination in his thoughts subsided. See, that's why we see every time surrender to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Why? Because that is the only protection. That is the only subsides all the contaminations from our mind, in our mind. Subside. When the contaminations cleaning, then only surrendering to the Krishna that takes place. Arjuna remembered Krishna's instructions on the battlefield, which he forgot neither through time nor actions nor the darkness of separation. And this is the 31 verse, talks about duties, spiritual assets. Remembering how I'm dealing with Krishna and the spiritual assets, Krishna's friendship. Arjuna destroys his lamentation. Karishe vachanam tava. Sisyasteham swadimam tvam prapannam mam prapannam. I am your disciple. Now please please instruct me, then I will follow you. Vishoka Brahma Sampatya. That's called destroyed lamentation. Vanquished all doubts. Sanchinna Dvaita Samshaya. All the knowledge is given in Bhagavad Gita. That's why all the doubts dissipated. He become free from the modes, situated in transcendence, devoid of material form, alingatva, and was no longer entangled in birth and death. Asambhava. Yes, let us go through this section. 32-44. Maharaj Yudhishthira retires. Sapan Prabhu, you are there, Hare Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji. 32-34, Maharaj Yudhishthira retires. Upon hearing all this, Yudhishthira decided to go back home, back to Godhead. Yudhishthira also turned his attention to the instructions of Bhagavad Gita after hearing about Lord's departure. Hearing Arjuna, Kunti became absorbed in Krishna with full attention, Ekanta Bhaktya, and thus gained release from material existence. The Saunakadi rishis were aggrieved to hear about departure of the Yadus. To pacify them, Sutta Goswami assured them that the Lord had caused this. Picking thorn by thorn, Krishna caused the Yadus to relinquish their bodies and to relieve the burden of the world like one picks out a thorn with another thorn. There were two burdens, the burden to the earth in the form of demons and the burden of the Devatas in form of Yadavas. Both were regarded as the same by the Lord. Like a magician, the Lord manifests various bodies and apparently relinquishes them to accept one another, once like Matsya, etc. Kali's entrance. The day the Lord Krishna left earth, Kali entered and fully manifested in auspicious conditions for those with poor intelligence. Yudhishthira understood the influence of Kali, characterized by increasing avarice, falsehood, cheating, and violence everywhere. So he wisely prepared himself to leave home and dressed accordingly. Maharaj Yudhishthira enthrones Parikshit and Vajra. He enthroned Parikshit, who was trained and as qualified as himself. He posted Vajra, the grandson of Krishna, at Mathura. Then he performed Prajapatya sacrifice, placing the fire for quitting the household life in himself. Maharaj Yudhishthira retires. Relinquishing his royal garments and ornaments, he became fully unattached. He amalgamated the existence, offering the senses, mind, life, prana, breathing, apana. He offered apana and excretion, death, body of 5 elements, 3 gunas, prakriti, jiva, and Brahman. He wore torn clothes, stopped eating and speaking, and became like a deaf madman. Not wanting for his brothers, he started towards the north in the footsteps of great souls to devote himself completely to the Supreme Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you.
I have a question, Prabhuji. Why are Devatas called a burden here?
The burden of Devatas in the form of Yadavas. Yadu dynasty. This is created by Krishna himself. So those Yadu dynasty, there's a big story, Prabhu, behind that. So to cut short, how can we discuss? So actually, వాళ్ళకు వాళ్ళే ఇది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది యాక్చువల్గా, వాళ్ళకు వాళ్ళే చంపుకోవడాలు, అది ఒక కొంచెం అది ఉంటుంది, కాంప్లెక్సిటీ ఉంటుంది ఇన్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వై ఇట్ హ్యాపెన్స్ లైక్ దట్. It is the will of the Lord only, like that. You only taking care of that also. So this was especially picking thorn by thorn. That means Krishna caused the Yadus to relinquish their bodies and to relieve the burden of the world. Like one picks out a thorn with another thorn. Adi, yeah. ఎంతమంది అనేది I forgot actually how many there. So Devatas in the form, I mean different. Can be created in different forms. through the.
Giriraj Prabhu, can I share something? Because the whole 11th canto I was in Chaupati only. When this whole canto was going on Bhagavatam, it was in 2011, 12, 13, 14. So through these 4 years, they only discussed about this 11th canto. Every day morning we have this Bhagavatam classes. In
11th
temple. Yeah, 11th canto they were discussing. So 11th canto completely speaks about the Mausala Leela, means how Krishna destroyed whole his family. So what he says is, first of all, this was said by many devotees. Every day, every brahmachari or grihastha, they come and they give class on this topics actually, on every sloka. So I was doing my service there in Radha Gopinath Media Services then. So it's our duty, like my counselor used to take me every day to the class, Bhagavatam class, and then we would start our seva in the temple. So for 1 year, when I was jobless, I was only hearing this 11th canto from in the temple. 10th got finished and 11th started, and then I started my service there in the temple. So that is the reason why I got to know about these things, nothing else. So I used to remember some things from him, why Krishna did what he did. Like the burden, in the aspect of burden, both demons, they don't belong to earth, and devatas, they also don't belong to earth. Demons, they belong to Bhuvar or one Nietzsche to us. Atala, Vitala, Sutala. They belong to them. And these devatas, they belong to Swarga. First of all, they don't belong to our place. That is the reason why Krishna wanted to take them where they are. The second one is power spoils, power corrupts. There is a sentence which says power corrupts. So all these yadus are more powerful than any of the living human being there. They are more powerful because, by nature they are devatas. They belong to some other land. But they came here for service to Lord Sri Krishna. And they know that. And Krishna knows that these people, they don't belong to this place. One. The second thing is, when they don't belong to this place, they will create some ruckus if they stay here for a long time. So that is the reason why Krishna thought, let us take them where they are. Let them keep where their swabhava is. For a temporary discourse, I have brought all those people here in this land. Of course, they're all my devotees. And my pastime over here on the earth is completed. Now let them go to their own places and serve according to their swabhava which I have given them. Or which they have, serving in their previous discipline. Very, very hard to understand, Prabhuji, but yes, that is there. It is said, Prabhuji, in our Grama Devata only comes once in a year. She daily stays there, but she comes once in a year to the town, to the, village. Then man Tirunal and Lakpati, what is it? Ikkada maakaithe
Bonal antaru Telangana.
Yeah. Your place they call it that. We call it as Tirunal here. And Jatra, we call it Jatra also. Then we welcome them to the homes. Till then, they will be in their particular lands, and then we will call them to our own homes. So they are burdened also because they don't belong to this land.
Yeah, and power over power.
Yeah, power corrupts. Yeah, power corrupts. So this is what Gauranga Prabhu always uses whenever he comes to give the classes, whenever his turn comes now. Why Krishna has taken all this, what is this, his family, because power corrupts. So one devotee asked, how can we think that if Krishna has treated his own family members like that, he would treat us, in a fair way? How can we, assimilate this? Right? Everyone will have this doubt. No? When we say the 24/7, we say that Krishna is the supreme person of God and he is more merciful And we also quote those verses, Abobakiyam, that everything we do. But what he has done with his own devoted family members, we cannot assimilate these two things, when we think of Krishna. So one devotee asked this question, like, what he said, this Prabhuji, he's also brahmachari, who asked this question. So then the answer which has come is very, very, very quite distinct, Prabhuji. For this, we should understand the guna and svabhava. And I was completely shocked by hearing this sentence. Yes, for the service of the Lord, he picked all those devotees who were serving for him in this whole 14 planets. When the service is finished, they should go to their own places according to their guna and svabhava. Then they can perform it well and they can come back to God properly. That's staying here. So this is a context. Sorry. Now I'm done, Prabhuji. If still you have doubts, Sapan Prabhu, you can share individually.
Yes. So that's the thing. Some pastimes he cannot comprehend, Prabhuji, how it happened. They happen like that, because it's the Supreme Lord's will. He wanted to do, he did it. కొన్ని ఇన్కన్సీవబుల్, ఇంకొకటి మనం ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడుతుంటాం. ఇన్కన్సీవబుల్ అంటే బియాండ్ అవర్ సెన్సెస్. జరిగింది మనం ఎట్లా ఆలోచిస్తాం, హౌ వి థింక్ విత్ అవర్ మైండ్, లిమిటెడ్ స్కోప్ ఓన్లీ వి థింక్. వితిన్ అవర్ లిమిటెడ్ కెపాసిటీ వి విల్ ట్రై టు అండర్స్టాండ్ ఫస్ట్ టైమ్స్. బట్ కొన్ని అర్థం కావు మనకంటే, కొన్ని అర్థం కావు, ఎందుకంటే వీఆర్ లిమిటెడ్ సెన్సెస్, కెనాట్ కాంప్రిహెండ్ సమ్ థింగ్స్.
But the whole theme of 11th canto is, this is not our place, please go back.
Yeah.
The Mausal Lila has also happened because of the problem. Krishna wanted to say, hey devotees, this is not place for you to stay long, please go back. That's it. How he performed it, he gives a lot of chance for the impersonalists. Hey, see, impersonalists will become joyful by just reading this 11th canto. But devotees, they feel very grave that this is not our place, we should go back. But impersonalists, they feel that, Krishna is not a person. Because see what he has done with this, with his own family members. Because he wanted everyone to get merged into one thing. That's why he has done all these things. So this 11th canto, the only theme of the 11th canto, whole 11th canto is, this is not our place. This is never our place to stay. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Yes. So lastly, Maharaj Yudhishthira retires, completely offering everything to Krishna, and then going towards north and completely devote himself to Supreme Lord in the footsteps of great souls. Yes. This is the last section. Chandramayil Prabhu, would you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. 45 to 51, the other Pandavas, Draupadi and Vidura depart. 45. Seeing Kali Yuga, the other Pandavas also decided to follow their elder brother. 46. They had executed all the principles of religion and as a result choose to meditate upon the Lord's feet without interruption. 47 to 48. Thus, by pure consciousness, due to constant devotional remembrance, they attained by spiritual sky the abode of Lord Krishna, Golaka Vrindavana, with their pure bodies, devoid of their demigod portions like Yamaraja and like Yamaraja in Yudhishthira, etc. 49. Vidura left the body at Prabhasa and returned to his original post in Pitraloka. Draupadi and Subhadra became absorbed in the thoughts of Lord Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. Falastruti. The subject of the departure of the sons of the Pandu is fully auspicious and perfectly pure. Anyone who hears it with faith gains devotion to the Lord.
Hare Krishna.
One more thing. You know who Draupadi is actually? Draupadi is a Gopa friend in Golok Vrindavana for Krishna. See the what kind of role she has taken now. That Gopa friend of Krishna has taken.
ఎక్కడ చదివారు ప్రభు? ఎక్కడ రిఫరెన్స్ తీసుకున్నారు అది?
Yeah, in FPC, what is it? Gopal Cham, my brother was discussing with me when he came before 2 days. He was here probably for 1 week. So he was discussing with me about, what to say, many devotees in Krishna Lila, who were they and how they served Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. So this is one important thing here, 47 to 48 verse. Thus by pure consciousness due to constant devotional remembrance, they attain the spiritual sky, the abode of Lord Krishna, Gola Vrindavana, with their pure bodies, divide up their demigod portions like Yamaraja in Yudhishthira, etc. So this is what it is, constant devotional service, devotional remembrance. Yeah, whatever pastimes we see along with Krishna and his devotees, there are eternal associates actually, as eternal associates of the Lord, and those pastimes happening in different planetary systems, different somewhere these are all Nitya Leelas, right Prabhu? So right Prabhu is Mata, these are all Nitya Leelas. That's where Nitya Leela always happening somewhere in the universes, different universes. Yes, so lastly says 51 Falashruti, the subject of departure of the sons of Pandu is fully auspicious and perfectly pure. Anyone who hears it with faith gains devotion to the Lord.
One more thing, Prabhu Girdhar, I wanted to add that. Please, I'm interrupting more today. Because the subject topic is such. Whenever you see the Falashruti, we might think this is like any other scripture only. Bhagavatam is also like any other scripture only. Because in any scriptures, when you hear or when you read, at the conclusion, what will come? That if you do this, you will get this. Give and take philosophy, right? In Bhagavatam also, there is a Falashruti everywhere. If you do this, you will get this. So how is this Falashruti different from other scriptures Falashruti? So for this, what you say, our acharyas explain that yes, when Falashruti is devotion, it doesn't matter. It is not a Falashruti only. Because for all other scriptures, how they say is, you will get the riches, you will get these things and you will get that thing for progress in the material world. But Bhagavata Falashruti is the only thing, where you'll get devotion, or the attraction towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead increases. So even if you get something, what will you get? Only bhakti. So the whole Falashruti of Bhagavatam, if you study all the chapters, you will get only one thing. What? The attraction towards the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this Falashruti is completely different from the other scriptures Falashruti. This is completely always, Shuddha Goswami says in the introduction before starting this, for getting attracted to the lotus feet of the Lord, you should only do one thing, reciting Bhagavatam. And in every Falashruti, you will get to know one thing. What is that? Your devotion or attraction towards the lotus feet of the Lord increases. And there is no other Falashruti in Bhagavatam. Directly or indirectly, they only say this. That's it. So don't get confused with give and take Falashruti. This is not a give and take Falashruti. This is only one thing. We only get attracted to the Supreme Personalities of Godhead or His lotus feet.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji Mataji, anybody have anything to share, add, or asking? Anything? Another 2 minutes, then we will go to Brahma Samhita prayers. Hare Krishna. All clear? At least somewhat.
Sorry, Prabhu, they might have got confused today because I spoke a lot today. But they will come to know slowly, Guruji, because it is their fortune that it is their good fortune that they got me into their calls and all.
It's okay, bro. See,
Yeah,
our material mind cannot understand some of the pastimes.
I didn't know, Prabhuji. On top of it, a person who confuses more is more, like jale pe namak na.
Dude, we
They
just
will
have,
slowly
see,
understand, Prabhuji.
all these teachings, conclusion is to understand, to surrender to Krishna, to remember Krishna. I see every pastime there is a purpose. Actually, it's not, it's every pastime under supreme will. It has these leelas only. See why everything created for his pleasure only. That we understand from Prabhupada's purport. What is his creation? Why he created material world? For his pleasure only. He wanted to experience the pleasure. Yes, that's the thing. So it's okay. Sometimes if we want to understand, we'll try to repeatedly read and try to refer. Again, internet is there, but internet sometimes defeats us. There are so many links will come, somebody written, it's not in a proper, it's not good. We have to check with with our seniors, with our mentors, if we have any questions and doubts on these various pastimes. So my understanding is one thing, whenever I feel this way, like whenever I won't understand some pastimes, there is a purpose behind it, because limited mind, I'm understanding unlimited, but Krishna is doing all this behind the scenes. He is there. For example, Yadu dynasty, behind the scenes he was there, back end mein he is there. There is a purpose behind it. For every pastime, if we take, he is doing for the good of the for good only. Every pastime, we have our limited senses, sometimes cannot understand the behind the scenes. Sometimes we cannot comprehend, we cannot this because of the nature, the inconceivable nature of the Supreme Lord. Inconceivable, we cannot conceive with our limited brain. That's the reason we just have to pray simply. Krishna is going to take care of that, over time. First time when we read, it will bewilder us sometimes. And next time if we read we get some, yeah, there is a purpose. Next time, like that's where it's not a one-time thing, we have to repeatedly go through these various pastimes and understand it. And Krishna's intervention, why he did like that, we get to know slowly, because he is only going to give the knowledge that by repeatedly doing this activity, then we can understand. Okay. We have to check, to refer also. Yeah. Yes, thank you very much for the readings today. So who are going to do today? Yesterday Samhita Matas did entire Brahma.
I will do. Shall I do, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Chandrababu Prabhuji, you want to do? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Cheyandi. 18 minutes for you. Okay. Complete 18 minutes. Fully devote. Lord. Meditation. Yes.
Sri Brahma Samhita 5.1. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiraya Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. 5.29. Chintamani Prakara Sadma Sukalpa Ruksha Laksha Vrtesu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lashmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Venum Konantamaravindha Dalayatacham Barhavatam Samasitambuda Sundarangam Kandarpakoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. 5.31 ఆలోల చంద్ర కలసద్వన మాల్యవంశీ రత్నాంగదం ప్రణయ కేలికలా విలాసం శ్యామం త్రిభంగలలితం నియత ప్రకాశం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి.
ఎస్ ప్రభు, వర్స్ నెంబర్లే చెప్పాక డైరెక్ట్.
యా. అంగాని యస్య సకలేంద్రియ వృత్తిమంతి పశ్యంతి పాంతి కలయంతి చిరం జగంతి ఆనంద చిన్మయ సదుజ్వల విగ్రహస్య గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. అద్వైతమచ్యుతమానందమనంత రూపం అద్వైతమచ్యుతమనాదిమనంత రూపం ఆద్యం పురాణ పురుషం నవయౌవనం చ వేదేషు దుర్లభమదుర్లభమాత్మభక్తో గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి.
ప్రభు స్లో కొంచెం స్లో చాలు.
ఓకే ప్రభు. అందాస్తు కోటి శతవత్సర సంప్రగమ్యో వాయోరదాపి మనసో మునిపుంగవానా సోప్యస్తి యత్ప్రపదసీమ్య విచింతతత్వే గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. ఏకోప్యసౌ రచయితుం జగదండకోటిం యచ్చక్తిరస్తి జగదండ చయాయదంతః అండాంతరస్థ పరమాను చయాంతరస్థం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. యద్భావ భావితదయో మనుజాస్తదైవ సంప్రాప్య రూపమహిమాసనయానభూషా సూక్తర్యమేవ నిగమ ప్రదితైస్తువంతి గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. ఆనంద చిన్మయ రస ప్రతిభావితాభి స్థాభిర్య ఏవ నిజ రూపతయా కలాభి గోలోక ఏవ నివసత్య కిలాత్మభూతో గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. ప్రేమాంజనశ్చురిత భక్తి విలోచనేన సంతః సదైవ హృదయేషు విలోకయంతి యం శ్యామసుందరమచింత్య గుణస్వరూపం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. రామాదిమూర్తిషు కళానియమేన తిష్టన్ నానావతార మకరోద్భవనేషు కింతు కృష్ణ స్వయం సమభవత్ పరమ పుమాన్యో గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. యస్య ప్రభా ప్రభవతో జగదండ కోటిశేష వసుదాది విభూతి భిన్నం తద్బ్రహ్మ నిష్కలమనంతమశేషభూతం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. మాయా హి యస్య జగదండ శతాని సూతే త్రైగుణ్య తద్విషయదేవ త్రైగుణ్య తద్విషయ వేద వితయాయమాన సత్వావలంబి పరసత్వమిశుద్ధ సత్వం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. ఆనంద చిన్మయ రసాత్మతయా మనస ప్రాణినాం ప్రతిఫలం స్మరతాముపేత్య లీలాయితేన భువనాని జయత్యజస్రం గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. గోలోకనాంని నిజదాంని తలే చ తస్య దేవీ మహేష హరిధామ సుతేషు తేషు తే ప్రభావని చయా విహితస్తయేన గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. సృష్టి స్థితి ప్రళయ సాధన శక్తి రేఖ ఛాయేవ యస్య భువనాని బిభర్తి దుర్గా ఇచ్ఛానురూపమపి యస్య చేష్టతే స గోవిందమాది పురుషం తమహం భజామి. క్షీరం యదాదతి వికార విశేష యోగాత్ సంజాయతే నహి తతః పృథగస్తి హేతో या सम्भुतामपि तदा समुपैति कार्या गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। दीपाचिरेव हि दशान्तरमभ्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतु समानधर्म यस्तादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यः कारणार्णवजले भजति स्म योगा निद्रामनन्तजगदण्ड सरोमकूप आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्यैक निःश्वसितकालमदावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमबिलजा जगदण्डनाथ विष्णुर्महान् स यः यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। भास्वान् यदा स्म सकलेषु निजेषु तेज स्वीयं क्रियत्प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्माय एष जगदण्डविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भ द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमये स गुणाधिराज विघ्नान् विहन्तुमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। अग्निर्मही गगनमम्बु मरुद्दिशश्च कालस्तदात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयानि यस्मात् भवन्ति विभवन्ति विसन्ति यञ्च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषतेज यशाज्ञया भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। धर्मोदपापनिचय श्रुतयस्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपतगावदयश्च जीवा यद्दतमात्रविभव प्रकटप्रभावा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्मिन्द्रगोपमदमेन्द्रमहो स्वकर्म बन्धानुरूपफलभाजनमातनोति कर्माणि निर्दहति किञ्चित् भक्तिभाजां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रणयादिभीति वात्सल्यमोह गुरुगौरवसेव्य भावै सन्तीत्य तस्य सदृशीं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। प्रियकान्ता परमपुरुष कल्पतरवो द्रुमा भूमिश्चिन्तामणि गणमयी तोयममृतं कदा गानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योति परमपि च तदा स्वाद्यमपि च स यत्रा क्षीराब्धि स्रवति सुरभिभ्यश्च सुमहान् निमेषार्धाख्यो वा व्रजति न हि यत्रापि समयः भजे श्वेतद्वीपं तमहमिह गोलोकमिति यं विदन्तस्ते सन्तः चितिवा विरलाचारा कपितये।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
Very nice, Prabhuji. Super. మంచి ట్రైన్ చేశాను లాస్ట్లీ ఇది.
వందే భారత్ ట్రైన్ చేశారు ప్రభు ఇక్కడ చేస్తారంట.
ఇంకా స్పీడ్ వెళ్ళిపోయింది ప్రభుజీ.
ప్రభు యాక్చువల్లీ బ్రహ్మ సంహిత స్లోగా చదివితే ఇవాళ మీకు వచ్చిన తప్పులన్నీ కరెక్ట్ అయిపోతుంది. కొంచెం స్లోగా వెళ్తే ప్రభు మొత్తం మీకు ఏంటంటే నెక్స్ట్ వర్డ్ ఏంటనేది ఇప్పుడు గుర్తొచ్చేస్తాను. ఫాస్ట్ వెళ్తే దాన్ని అసిమిలేట్ చేయలేము, ఎక్కడ కలపాలి ఎక్కడ విడగొట్టాలనేది తెలియదు అనమాట.
కొంచెం డౌట్ వస్తుంది
స్లోగా చదువుతారు. ఓకే, అది బాగానే ఉన్నాయి ప్రభుజీ. ఆ డిస్టర్బెన్సెస్ ఎందుకు వచ్చినాయి అంటే స్పీడ్ ఎక్కువ అవడం వల్ల అంతే.
ఓకే ఓకే
You nailed it, Prabhuji. You improved a lot, check yourself, last 4 or 5 months. You
Yeah,
improved a
correct.
lot. Your Sanskrit improved. The words you are identifying easily. You got the improvement. Very nice, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna's
Krishna.
very nice. Very good. Okay. Thank you.
Prabhu, Brahma Samhita, everyone got it nailed. I'm only just doing it because they are, what is it? They will get a sense of, what it is like reading shlokas or what it is like reading samhitas or, these prayers, actually. Everyone knows this story. Everyone.
Yes. Thank you very much. So now 9 o'clock over, it's 9 a.m. One more devotee చేద్దామా ఇప్పుడు ఏంటి ఐడియా? It's up to them.
Yeah. If they are willing, Prabhu, please continue the call. Within 2 or 3 minutes, I should leave, Prabhu.
Yeah,
My
one
God.
last. Anybody likes to do? Every day 2 devotees, let us plan this better.
ఇట్లాంటి వందే భారత్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ వస్తే ఈజీగా ఇంకో ప్రభుజీ మన చంద్రమౌళి ప్రభు ఎంత స్పీడ్ అయిపోయిందంటే కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ లెవెల్స్ నాట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ లైక్ ఎనీథింగ్
మాస్టర్ हो गया वो. చెప్పండి మాధవి ప్రభు, anybody likes to do one more?
I can do, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Sandhya Mataji, you want to do?
Yeah, if అందరికి ఓకే అయితే చేస్తాను ప్రభుజీ. టైం లేదు అనుకుంటే రేపైనా ఓకే.
చేయండి Mataji, it's okay. No problem.
చేయండి. Whoever, if there is any some activities for you, daily activities, you can leave if anyone wants to leave. Okay. Else they can practice with Sandhya Mataji in mute.
మీరు చేయండి, కంప్లీట్ చేయండి. Then we'll wrap up the call, okay? Continue.
శ్రీ బ్రహ్మ సంహిత. ఈశ్వర పరమ కృష్ణ సచ్చిదానంద విగ్రహ అనాదిరాదిర్ గోవింద సర్వకారణ కారణం చింతామణి ప్రకర సద్మషు కల్ప వృక్ష లక్షావృతేషు సురభీరభిపాలయంతం లక్ష్మీ సహస్రశత సంభ్రమ సేవ్యమానం గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. వేణుం క్వనంతమరవిందదలాయతాక్షం బర్హావతం సమసితాంబుదసుందరాంగం కందర్పకోటికమనీయ విశేషశోభం గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. ఆలోలచంద్రకలసద్వనమాల్యవంశీ రత్నాంగదం ప్రణయకేలికలావిలాసం శ్యామం త్రిభంగలలితం నియతప్రకాశం గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. అంగాని యస్య సకలేంద్రియవృత్తిమంతి పశ్యంతి పాంతి కలయంతి చిరం జగంతి ఆనంద చిన్మయ సదుజ్వల విగ్రహస్య గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. అద్వైతమచ్యుతమనాదిమనంతరూపం ఆద్యం పురాణపురుషం నవయౌవనం చ వేదేషు దుర్లభమధుర్లభమాత్మభక్తౌ గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. పంతాస్తు కోటిశతవత్సర సంప్రగమ్యో వాయోరథాపి మనసో మునిపుంగవానాం సోప్యష్టి యత్ ప్రపదసిమ్య విచింత్య తత్ గోవిందాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. ఏకోప్యసౌ రచయుతిం జగదందకోటిం యచ్చక్తిరస్తి జగదందచయాయదంత అందాంతరస్థ ప్రమానుచయాంతరస్తం గోవిందమాదిపురుషం తమహం భజామి. यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानभूषा सूक्तैर्यमेव निगमा प्रतिथैस्तुवन्ति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिस्ताभि एव निजरूपतया कलाभि गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। प्रेमाञ्जनच्चुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। रामादिमूर्तिसुकलानियमेन तिष्ठान् नानावतारमकरोद्भुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत् परमापुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदन्धकोटि कोटिष्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नम् तद्ब्रह्म निष्कलमन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। मायायि यस्य जगदन्धशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वमिषुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मतया मनस्सु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। गोलोकनाम्नि निजधाम्नि तले च तस्य देवी महेश हरिधामसुतेषु तेषु ते प्रभावनिचया विहताश्च येन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। सृष्टिस्थितिप्रलयसाधनशक्तिरेका छायेव यस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपमपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। क्षीरं यथा दधिविकारविशेषयोगात् सञ्जायते न हि तथा पृथगस्ति हेतो यः शम्भुतामपि तथा समुपैति कार्यात् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। दीपाचिरेव हि दशान्तरमप्युपेत्य दीपायते विवृतहेतुसमानधर्मा यस्तादृगेव हि च विष्णुतया विभाति गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यः कारणार्णवजले भजति स्म योग निद्रामनन्तजगदन्धसरोमकूपा आधारशक्तिमवलम्ब्य परां स्वमूर्तिं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यस्यैकनिश्वसितकालमतावलम्ब्य जीवन्ति लोमविलजा जगदन्दनाथ विष्णुर्महंस इह यस्य कलाविशेषो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तेजा स्वीयं कियत् प्रकटयत्यपि तद्वदत्र ब्रह्मायये स जगदन्धविधानकर्ता गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। यत्पादपल्लवयुगं विनिधाय कुम्भा द्वन्द्वे प्रणामसमहे सगणाधिराजा विघ्नान् विहन्तमलमस्य जगत्त्रयस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अग्निर्मही गगनमम्बुमरुत्तिसच्च कालास्तथात्ममनसीति जगत्त्रयानि यस्माद्भवन्ति विभवन्ति विशन्ति यं च गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यच्चक्षुरेश सविता सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तशुरमूर्तिरशेष तेजा यस्याज्ञया भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि धर्मोतपापनिचया श्रुतयास्तपांसि ब्रह्मादिकीटपतघावदयश्च जीवा यद्दत्तमात्रविभव प्रकटप्रभाव गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्त्विन्द्रगोपमतवेन्द्रमहोस्वकर्मा बन्धानुरूपफलभाजनमातनोति कर्माणि निद्रहति किन्तु च भक्तिभाजां गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यं क्रोधकामसहजप्रणयाधिभीति वात्सल्यमोहगुरुगौरवसेव्यभा सञ्चिन्त्यतः सदृशं तनुमापुरेते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि श्रियकान्ता कान्ता परमपुरुषा कल्पतरवो ध्रुमा भूमिश्चिन्तामणि गणमयी तोयममृतम् कथागानं नाट्यं गमनमपि वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्दं ज्योति परमपि तदा स्वाद्यमपि च स यत्र क्षीराप्तिस्रवति सुरभिभ्यश्च सुमः निमेषार्धाख्यो वव्रजति न हि यत्रापि समया भजे श्वेतद्वीपं तमहमिह गोलोकमिति यं विदन्तस्ते सन्ताक्षितिविरल चाराकटिपये श्री ब्रह्म संहिता प्रेयर्स की
Right, Hari bol. So good. Very nice. Very nice. How are you feeling when you recite Mataji? Just share. We felt
Yes,
very happy.
yes.
I felt very happy for you because
Yes.
you learned a lot. Very nicely recited. Yeah.
Thank
How
you,
did you feel when you recite? How are you feeling?
బాగా అనిపిస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ అంటే ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలనిపిస్తుంది ఇంకా డైలీ నాకు చాలా నచ్చినాయి బ్రహ్మ సంహిత ప్రేయర్స్ ఇంకా పాడుతుంటే ఇంకా పాడాలి అనిపిస్తుంది రిసైట్ చేస్తుంటే కూడా అసలు శ్లోక వర్డ్స్ నేను చేస్తానని ఎప్పుడు అనుకోలేదు ప్రభుజీ స్టార్టింగ్ లో అసలు వచ్చేవి కాదు
మీ సిన్సియారిటీ మాతది మీ సిన్సియారిటీ మీరు నేర్చుకున్నారు తపన పడ్డారు రైట్ సో యు గాట్ ద మర్సీ నౌ యు ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు డూ ఇన్ ద సత్సంగ్స్ యు కెన్ స్టార్ట్ డూయింగ్ ఎనీవేర్ and everywhere, wherever comes Abhishekams, any Pushpa Abhishekams, anything. Can recite. So nicely you recited, Mataji. Very nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I was muted and followed you because I was not in the calls. So now I got some experience, like that we need to do. Yes. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Vande Mataji ki jai. Thank you. So let us conclude, okay? Yeah. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रील गुरुदेव की जय निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल see you all tomorrow same time so let us do after reading 2 more devotees okay have a happy Krishna conscious Tuesday December 20 another just 11 days to go New Year so, yes
Happy Dwaras.